As we are privileged to host a lecture by our Honorable guest, Dr. Ashok Raina, former scientist at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Maryland, USA, on the fascinating topic of reincarnation. And this enlightening lecture will be followed by interactive and offering chance to Mata Saraswati. Zutshi to present a bouquet to the respected dignitary and our distinguished guest, Dr. Ashok Raina sir.
Namaskar. History, literature, law, music, and whatnot. I have Mr. Moti Kaur, Professor B.L. Kaur, our educated former Secretary General, Mr. Jalali, Vice General Secretary, esteemed Mr. Rawal, I see, Madam Veena Pinta, we have Professor Thrissel, a great scholar and a great brilliant mind. So is again the co-chair, Madam Veena Pandita, poet, philosopher, academician, and administrator. We have Betab here, Dr. Dar here, Mrs. Shivpuri here, we have Jalali Saab, Hul Saab, Virendra Raina, I think everybody here. We also, the Shiva scholar I have, Sanjay Raina, he is here, Bihari Kak, Mr. Raina, and all the faculty members, and Mr. A.K. Raina I see from a distance, and Dr. Tikku, the great doctor we have on the member of this society. I'm honored and privileged to welcome you all on behalf of society and institution. Mr. Hangu is here, I forgot, the giant is here, the Shadi, workshop, seminars, or whatever we have, cultural program. We remember the Saraswati Hall donated by you. The heavily secret memories, the sensibilities of the hall always echo in our minds. We are grateful to you, acknowledge your greatness that you have done. And you still continue to do in terms of scholarship to our students. That's great. The topic I have chosen is enigmatic for me as a layman, because for me life is a celebration. Like Ghalib, let me not talk about the heaven, let me have my enjoyment of heaven in my days here. Because galloping of life, and there's no control on galloping. Unbridled horse, you don't know when it ends. I say somebody dies, I don't die, no, I'm here still. That's how the life moves on. But you have chosen a topic because you belong to Kashmir, that old classical Kashmir, of ascetics, of saints, of sages, who had an inquiry mind. They wrote, Al-Bunyan was the name I suppose, who wrote that Kashmir is the laboratory of science for Hinduism, if I quote properly. I know Beta might be knowing it. Yes. That's what he said. And other writers also. Because civilization of India, 80% is Kashmir. From Abhinavgupta to Lal death, where contributed wrong. But so death is concerned, the soul is concerned. Because once Kushal Singh asked His Holiness Dalai Lama, you believe in this? Yes, I believe in reincarnation. Buddhists believe it, Jains don't believe, Sikhs believe, Hindus believe. Have you ever thought about how it does happen? Don't ask me this question. Now the interesting part is that you have a scientist with a mind of inquiry to speak on this issue. I mean, layman would say anything. So a man with science, a passion for science, was contributed to science, is creating an inquiry about this. For me, soul, I don't know. Incarnation, I don't know what will happen. I know that I have to die someday. What will happen, I don't know. As Ghalib said, I don't know what is heaven, I am here only. But this mysticism, this inquiry, is a very important part of the legacy of Kashmir. And he is continuing with that. So that way, we are happy, we are glad, we are very joyous to have you today, to hear your very important topic which you have, reincarnation. So I hope it will be a good debate here also. I have some scholars here like Ashok Raina and all those, and Mr. Tussle and all those who have the depth of knowledge about it. So I wish you all the best and thank you and invite you for the
Please join me in welcoming the devotees to the Rose Round of Applause.
Namaskar everyone. As Zutshi has pointed out, for me particularly, it is a very difficult subject. What makes it easy is because I'm sure that everybody would appreciate it for one reason, that if we have life, we have to one day die. There's no denying that. So reincarnation is all about what happens to our non-physical entities. I got interested in the subject almost 80 years ago. No, that was not before I was born. But in our neighborhood in Srinagar, a gentleman who had been sick for a couple of months died, was taken to the crematorium, got up and came back. Now, I'll touch on this subject later on, but that's how, that for the next 70 plus years, I was not involved in this subject. I had lots of other things to do. And the last one that most of you are aware of was the history of Kashmir and its Pandits that was published a couple of years ago. So it's quite a change from that. So what is, let me just caution you that I'm not basing my presentation on religion. It's, as Zutshi mentioned, it's purely on scientific investigations. And I do not have answers for all the questions. And I am very hopeful that after this session, we'll have a better understanding of what reincarnation means. The religious definition of reincarnation is the rebirth of some aspect of individual that persists after bodily death. Whether it's the soul or consciousness, more recently people have started using consciousness rather than soul, mind or some other entity in one or more successive generations' lives. A Christian boy born in 1998. And I was privileged to talk to his parents and he also, James, and studied it very hardly. His parents did not believe in reincarnation. They were devout Christians. And he was very much interested as a 3-year-old boy in airplanes, particularly the fighter and bomber of World War II vintage. So eventually his father got very interested and started investigating. He went to the naval records and found out that there was a pilot named James Houston who had, while bombing Iwo Jima in Japan in 1945, his plane had been shot down and died there. So the boy, 3-year-old boy, would always express that he was drowning, that I'm suffocating, I'm drowning, I'm in a plane. So that was very convincing. His father eventually did a lot of investigation. They went to California, where Houston lived, and talked to his sisters and others. And some of the details that this person gave, this boy, little boy gave, were very, very convincing.
Gandhi Memorial College for giving me this opportunity. I think everybody will be surprised when I say I have met a person who knew everything about his past life. I met him when he was getting married, and in that marriage he had his present parents as well and relations, and his past life parents and relations as well. So for me, this is something revival of that experience that happened some 25 years ago in Delhi. I have certain things to know from you, esteemed sir. Do you, in this system or in this research, believe in theory of karma? Because rebirth takes between 18 months to 53 years, as you said here, number one. Number two, I have a book written by some saint, I unfortunately forgot the name, but I have the book written by some saint in Maharashtra about Laleshwari. In that book he has mentioned that the reason of Laleshwari not being able to successfully live a married life was because when the couple went to consummate the marriage, Laldev could see that my husband now was my son in my past life. That was the reason. I have the book with me. Then again we have about Adi Shankaracharya. When he came to Kashmir and had Shastra, the lady to him said, no, you don't have the experience of a married man. So the soul willingly entered somebody's dead body and got the experience. How are all these things connected? Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Your first comment was really very revealing. I have not come across that, but I would certainly like to get more information about that. And Laleshwari again, it's very possible. And I mentioned that karma is an important aspect of it, but not in the negative sense that we take. My take on that, I'm going to give you two short examples. One is the disrespect of food. Another, just look at things, खाने का जो wastage करते हैं. And I believe personally that you'll be born in a situation in your next life where you would really be short of food or understand the value of food. That's one thing. The other thing is if you treat your servant or somebody very, very badly, the roles will be reversed in next time. What I have not been able to find, and I'm still trying my best, is if you murder someone, what happens in your next life? Does that person murder you? Because they put set a chain that will be never ending. And I may add another thing to that. You've seen a person whose child is deformed, mentally deranged or deformed. Is that the child's fault or the parent's fault? This particular question was asked of Jesus Christ. I don't think he gave a satisfactory answer to that. Whose fault is it? Because parents equally suffer when your child is in that condition.
Although we came across a lot of books on souls, Dr. Brainwise has written lots of them. But it was never clear to me as was made by your very invasive analysis. I am only confused about one fact. How these souls get multiplied when the population increases.
Yeah, I think somehow.
Second question is that you just mentioned that the consciousness is the second name of a soul. Now,
No.
right. I was a little confused on that. I would like to get clarification. And when we say that God consciousness, you have to, if you want to come nearer to the God, you have to be God conscious. And then we talk about the universal consciousness. What is exactly that?
Well, you're going into the more religious aspect of it, universal and God. And I tried specifically to leave God out of it. But one of the things that I missed mentioning was population versus, because I have studied that very thoroughly, what the population of the world was, let's say, 2,000 years ago, and what it is currently. There are three possibilities. One is just like evolution from animals, higher animals, chimpanzees and others, to human beings. The numbers of those animals is constantly decreasing, whereas the number of human beings is increasing. One possibility. The second possibility is that the supreme consciousness, which is, we will call it, as Hindus, Paramatma, Param is a energy, and it is giving off like sparks. If you're on fire somewhere, a burning fire, it gives sparks. Just like that, it's constantly. The third possibility is that among the billions of galaxies that we have, there is possibility that there are other worlds that may have human-like life. And there may be migration of souls from those. I had even considered that looking at the distances, most of the people do not have the concept of what the distances are, interstellar distances. So,
for me, moksha is, I think, escapism. Escapism from the karma, present karma. I am fed up with much of the karma that I have done here in this world. So now onwards I don't want this karma. I want to have a sleep, I want to have a spiritual this thing. So I don't want that moksha, that type of moksha. Because it's not possible for a person to complete his whole karma in this single, birth. So maybe at some point in time, I feel that my job has remained incomplete. So I want to complete the next karma, last birth. So there, the moksha word fails. So I am confused. Whether to go in for ask for moksha or not to ask for moksha.
but if you study Buddhism, they do not believe in moksha.
They don't make.
They don't. They say when your soul is reached a higher stage, then it takes a rebirth to serve the humanity. And that's a bodhisattva. And Hindus, on the other hand, they believe strictly in moksha. And everybody is, and it's not something, we take it very lightly. It's not something that, can happen. It takes probably thousands of births before you reach. So you don't have to worry right now.
Dr. Weiss, it's his great research in this book, Many Lives, Many Masters. In that he traces a patient's past life to 4,000 years from Stone Age. How many janmas he has taken and reached that stage. And it was very convincing that soul contribute to traverse generations or as I said that not going to the realms of religion, salvation or whatever you say, does sometimes come to a stage where it just rests. Number one. Number two, a few years back I had visited a seminary in Himachal, a Hindu seminary, and there are two Alsatian dogs, very massive dogs, whenever Havan was being conducted, they would sit there and they observe all kinds of. So the Swamiji is there and very highly warned soul. He said that this is their last janma as dogs and next janma will be as human beings. No proof to prove that. But as you now said that generally there's no regression to the insects like human souls, they don't regress into insects. Do the lower these entities, they progress, evolve into higher souls? And number three, I firmly believe in this reincarnation, come to our religion and how convincingly it has, Generally, it has not found traction in Western world.
It's not true that Western world does not accept, because the religion comes as a hindrance. If you go to church every day or once a week, and I have a dentist, he's a Korean guy, but he's a Christian. And every time I go to the dentist, he will ask me, how's your book coming along? And he's very much interested. So he went to his priest and asked him, he said, I have heard that there is something like reincarnation, is it true? And the priest, without thinking for a second, said, no, it's a sin to think about that. So when you have that kind of an environment, atmosphere, bringing up, certainly you will not.
Sir, great to listen to your lecture. It was fine. Thanks to the management who gave me a chance to be a part of it. I endorse whatever you have said, because I have a practical example which I wanted to just mention. I think 20 years back, I was a lay. One of the priests, Lama, passed away of a big monastery. He said that when he was at the deathbed, he said that I will give you a small handkerchief. You have to keep it. After passing, the day I will pass, after 7 years, you will go to Sikkim and you will find out a boy, and he will recognize this handkerchief and then bring him here to be a Lama. How we take it, and what's your interpretation about it? Thank you.
If you go to the background of Dalai Lama, that's a common feature, because they identify their successors ahead of time. There must be some sort of a mechanism. Again, it's a desire. Like if I have an intense desire to be born in some family or something, somewhere, I can fulfill it. It is, or you can avoid that. So, but in their case, they have that power, whether it's called power or whatever it is, but to identify, it's like I mentioned the artificial birth form.
And sir, you personify or you exemplify it in a very lucid manner. You went to America as an American Indian and returned as a Kashmiri migrant. Sir, just in what you said in support of that. One day I had an occasion, it was in 2003 probably. I had an occasion to interact with Master G.D. Thakur. But what was the say, I was posted to Udhampur, Justice G.D. Thakur. And he has, what I say, he has put it in his book also. My years in Kashmir, politics and something other. He said that one day he just was narrating his own life, some significant parts of that his own life. And then what struck into mind was that one day G.D. Thakur telling me, in presence of his son, who was the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice T.S. Thakur, that he interacted with Justice B.K. Krishna Iyer. Both Justice D.J. Thakur and B.K. Krishna are both emancipated persons, liberated persons. By no standards we can call them fundamentalists. But really not Justice B.K. Krishna. He said that one day I had invited him to my dinner. As usual, D.J. Thakur telling me that I went inside for the drinks before that dinner. And Justice Iyer told me very appropriate time. Justice Iyer told D.J. Thakur sir very appropriate time because I am also just going to other room because I will have an interaction with my dead wife. This is exactly the time when she comes to me. And two persons talking, Justice D.J. Thakur and Justice B.K. Krishna. B.K. Krishna telling him that very appropriate time, you go for the drinks, I will go will talk for my wife, who was dead, and I talked to her at a particular time. This is in support of what you said about reincarnation. Now, this transmigration of soul and reincarnation, we put it on the same pedestal. And does reincarnation take place as a package, or there is shifting? Or is there shifting? What we do good, we come as a saint. What we do as a bad, we come as a rat. Again karma. Again karma.
You don't come back as a rat.
I'm not coming, I'm still doing it.
सर अब हमारी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हमारे जो संगीतकार हैं वो उनका पैकेज फिक्स है थोड़ा सा.
Thing is, you can talk to your deceased partners. It has happened.
Put it in this book also. अगर आप चाहें, I can give you to a
I have lots of evidences of this kind.
Yes.
There was a person traveling in a ship, and between United Kingdom and US, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, somebody in the US died, and the person, there was no communication, no cell phones, nothing at that time. And his so-called soul came and talked to that person. So yes, it can happen.
Very rich now today, the topic that you have shared. It is wonderful. I am also interested in this. My revered Guru, Pandit Prana Bhadgari, he has written two books, Sanjeevani First and Sanjeevani II. In that is a verse, Path Kal Son Ye Kal Zone. Then it goes, the line goes. But this particular, Path Kal Son Ye Kal Zone.
Professor Mike.
I asked myself, can't I do it to know what I was in the past? I repeatedly pray to all those whom I pray daily. Then one night it happened that I saw my own self. I was higher than this size. I was wearing a sleeveless shirt with a bag and possibly books in that. And this happened every night for at least 10 days. I could not sleep. Once I would sleep, the same process would again come. Then I requested all those souls who had given me a chance to see my path call. I was having a long pant with a border at the bottom. It was something very sexy. And I have read that book that Mr. Ashok Raina said just now, Many Lives, Many Masters. It is written by Dr. Brian Wills, who was a neurologist in Miami Hospital.
Professor Veena Kamkana to grace the stage and share the words of wisdom with us. Please join me in welcoming the respected dignitary with a great round of applause.
Dr. Ashok Raina, Mrs. Santosh Raina, Professor Zutshi, Karwani Saab, introduction काफी है. And if I start counting the names, I feel I should be only boring you because all persons sitting here are who and who. And you will pardon me for not naming you all. A very good afternoon to all of you. I must tell you, Dr. Raina, that it was a commendable job. You have touched that subject which is subtle in its infancy, which is subtle, have not come. There are not many questions that comes to each and every mind, that come to each and every person's mind, that which we cannot see, which we cannot visualize. How come that can be true? So Dr. Raina, you have made us rich by your ideas. I am happy, I am glad. Not that you have only touched this topic, but you have touched the topic with what you call the facts, not with religion. Religion may be blind at times, but we all know religion that cannot be, believed by everybody. But the facts, the figures, we cannot deny. And the research, the case studies that we are having cannot be denied. Those are the human beings. They are the human beings who come up with the factual things that they feel about. And this was the spiritual aspect. Believe me, I am completely amateur in this subject. I am just a learner. Up till the age of superannuation, 60, I have never had the idea. I have been listening but not seriously thought over it. Maybe after that, sometimes it comes to my mind, but I am an amateur, quite new in this subject. But to tell you honestly, certain facts, when yesterday it came to me that I may have to speak, certain facts came to my mind. The first fact that I like to quote is R.K. Narayan. He is very famous for his book, Guide. You all might have heard. But one book which he is not so oftenly quoted about is his book, English Teacher. And English Teacher, what happens is, I'll just take short time, that what happens is that his wife dies, whom he loves very much, and then he tries to, he doesn't come out of it, and he tries to talk to the wife. He goes daily to a particular place, and वहाँ पे वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको करते हैं, पूजा करते हैं, अपनी तरीके से वो उसमें जाते हैं, and then he tries to call the soul of and it appears. He writes it that it appears. What happens, that is a totally different story. To what extent he has taken it afterwards is worth read, if you may. So, but what I want to say is that he has quoted it there that it appears, the soul appears. And then we may not have the books, the classrooms, the teachings about certain philosophies of life. We may only have scriptures or philosophies who have discussed the incarnation of soul. If I take you to the other dimension of the incarnation, means if you believe in it, you don't question it. But if you don't believe in it, you question it. And you have every right to question it, because unless and until you question it, you are not a human being. And you should always question it. But what answers our unknown questions, undetermined questions, what answers that is the life itself, is the universe in which we live. If we talk about, I'll take you to the other dimension of the universe. Talk about any life. Talk about trees, vegetation, forests. Talk about animals. Talk about human beings. A tree is born out of stem, and it blossoms in spring, bears fruit in summers, and in autumn it sheds its leaves. I don't call it sheds its leaves. I call it is completely, it sheds the power of holding on to the leaves. And it is completely, it burns, the fire is such that it cannot contain its leaves and fruits and seeds. But does that mean death of the tree? No. The seed, the leaves, they become the fertilizers, and the seed, unless and until it is crushed by the energy of the earth itself, the stem does not come out. Is not it rebirth of the tree? One. If you talk about non-living things, say for example a river, which is born from the glacier, it travels. वो एक बूंद पानी का जो उस टाइम बॉर्न हुआ, उसकी एक अपनी गाथा है, उसका एक अपना जीवन. It travels unless it emerges into the ocean. It emerges into the ocean, and that is considered to be its death. उस गाथा में जो इसकी बूंद पानी की जहाँ से शुरू हुई थी, to that where it emerges into the ocean.
matter of personal belief, a matter everyone has a belief, some belief system. As far as the concept of soul, transmigration of soul, and this is a subject I think you experience, you read about it. As such, when we correlate it with the empirical evidence, scientific evidence that science sees, you may not be able to prove these things as such.
मातृशक्ति और मेरे विद्वान बंधु, so far as this subject is concerned, मैं अपने आप को पाता हूँ ज़बाने यारी मन फारसी न मैं दानूं। ये सब्जेक्ट मेरे लिए ऐसा है कि not even a novice in this field, लेकिन फिर भी जो परंपरा से, जो ट्रेडिशन से हमारे जहन में घुस गया है आज तक, उसमें तो कुछ बातें याद आ रही हैं, बहुत पुरानी, बहुत पहले पढ़ा था किसी शायद रीडर्स डाइजेस्ट में एक आर्टिकल था, किसी आदमी की किसी एक्सीडेंट में टांग कट गई थी और वो तो एम्प्यूटेट की गई थी, देयर वाज नो लेग एग्जिस्टिंग बियॉन्ड नी, और उसको दर्द हो रहा था घुटने में, टखने में, पैर में, जो था ही नहीं, इट वाज नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट।
जिनकी शुरुआत हमारे डॉक्टर अशोक रैना जी ने की है, और यहाँ पर उसी खूबसूरत सभागार में खूबसूरत गणमान्य व्यक्ति बैठे हैं, उनका मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा। उन्होंने अपना समय निकाल के यहाँ पे आए और इस पूरे माहौल को, पूरे इस इवेंट को एक खूबसूरत शेप दे करके वो हमें सौभाग्यशाली हमको बनाने शुरू कर दिया। डॉक्टर करवानी बैठे हैं यहाँ पर, इनका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, व्यस्त रहते हैं बहुत, लेकिन वो आए, इनका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मोती कोल जी बॉम्बे से आए, उनका भी धन्यवाद। प्रोफेसर बीएल कोल, जुत्शी साहब तो हैं, सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हमारे जो आज के बहुत मजे हुए वक्ता डॉक्टर अशोक रैना, उन्होंने हमको इस लायक समझा, मैं दिल से कह रहा हूँ, हमको इस लायक समझा कि उन्होंने ऐसा गूढ़ विषय चुन करके हमारे पास आए जिसका कोई अंत नहीं है, देयर इज नो लिमिट टू इट। और मैं भी जुत्शी साहब से कह रहा था कि एक अलग सेशन पढ़ना चाहिए इसके लिए, अलग। और मैं बताऊँ आपको, फ्रैंकली बात बताऊँ, यहाँ पर सभागार में कुछ ऐसे लोग भी बैठे हैं जो इस पर घंटों बोल सकते हैं, हमें संजय रहना चाहिए। यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं, बड़ी मस्ती में देख रहे हैं, सुलझे हुए इंसान, जेल कौर साहब सुलझे हुए इंसान, बोलना चाहते हैं लेकिन समय की कमी है, क्या करें। तो मेरा यही मेरी कामना है कि एक और सेशन हम ऐसा रखें जहाँ पर केवल और केवल ऐसे गणमान्य व्यक्तियों का बोलने का मौका दिया जाए। डॉक्टर अशोक रैना साहब के लिए मैं एक और चीज़ कहना चाहूँगा, इन्होंने हमें कहीं का नहीं छोड़ा। वजह ये कि इतने प्रश्न, इतने सवाल हमारे जहनों में हैं इस वक्त इस विषय के बारे में, और जब हम इस दरवाजे से, इस द्वार से बाहर जाएंगे तो प्रश्न किससे पूछे हम, ये हमारी एक चिंता है। इस चिंता को दूर करने के लिए मैं पर्सनली वीरेंद्र रावल इनकी दीर्घ आयु की कामना करता हूँ। हर बार जब हम आए, हर बार वो हमारे साथ कुछ गिफ्ट लेकर के आए, इस गिफ्ट के रूप में सोल, रीइंकार्नेशन, माइंड, पुनर्जन्म इत्यादि इत्यादि। वाकई में हम तृप्त हो गए, और अगली बार सर जब आएंगे तो केवल आप बोलेंगे और हम सुनेंगे केवल। लेकिन ये इसलिए क्योंकि इनका अंदाज बोलने का, मुझे लगता सभी से सहमत नहीं होंगे, इनका अंदाज बोलने का इतना था, बच्चे से बच्चा लेकर के बड़े से बड़ा था, समझ गया इनका कहना क्या चाहते हैं, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली, प्रॉपर साइंटिफिक तर्क, आध्यात्मिक तर्क, दोनों को करके बैलेंस करके इन्होंने हम तक ये बात पहुंचाई। इनका एक बार नहीं, हजार बार थैंक यू, धन्यवाद, थैंक यू वेरी मच। और यहाँ पर आने का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और एक लास्ट बार ये कहूँगा कि सब सभागार में जो हमने ये उनकी कहानी सुनी रीइंकार्नेशन की, मुझे यह लगता है कि ये रीइंकार्नेशन ऑफ द ह्यूमन बीइंग नहीं, रीइंकार्नेशन ऑफ गांधी मेमोरियल कॉलेज, गांधी मेमोरियल कॉलेज की रीइंकार्नेशन है। आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
Zazul madano, ye dap